All right, guys, so let's talk about absolute value functions. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define what an absolute value function is, right? We got a little bit of an introduction to it when we talked about parent functions. So we know that the absolute value of x is going to look something like this, okay? So it's actually a sneaky function because it's really a piecewise function. Okay, remember a piecewise function just has two different pieces stuck together. So if you guys notice, this is a linear function going straight down. So this is actually y equals negative x, and this side is y equals x. So what they're saying is that this half, right? So if x is less than 0, it's negative x. But, okay, if it's this half where x is greater than or equal to 0, it's y equals x. So it's actually two different functions stuck together, but we use the absolute value of x to represent that. So we're going to focus on today, how do you solve an absolute value function? How do you solve an absolute value inequality? And then how do you kind of break it apart and graph them based on the transformations that we just learned? So step one is to solve it. Okay, so the first example gave you guys just the basic idea of how do I solve an absolute value equation. So when you guys are looking at this, okay, I want you to think about this like if you have a number on the number line, okay, x, and this absolute value is actually the distance. So what they're saying is the distance between some number, x, right, is 10. Okay. So I'm going to rewrite that a little bit. Okay, so the distance between some number and 6, that's where the 6 came in, is equal to 10. Now notice I went 10 in both directions because they don't tell me, right? So if I'm in the number line, I can go 10 to the right and I can go 10 to the left and still be 10 away from 6. And so I'm actually going to break this apart into two different directions. I'm going to say the distance between x and 6 is 10 to the right, and then the distance between some number and 6 is 10 to the left. That's what that negative 10 is representing. So when I solve this like I would a normal equation, okay, what I'm saying is x could be 16 because the distance between 16 and 6 is 10 to the right. But, okay, x could also be negative 4, okay, because the distance between negative 4 and 6, okay, or from 6, is 10 to the left. So notice that all I'm doing when I'm solving an absolute value is I can take this absolute value kind of symbol away as long as I show that it could be 10 or negative 10, right? Because I can go in either direction. Okay, so your example number 2 talked about solving an inequality. So we're going to approach this similarly, okay? So I have the absolute value of x minus 3, okay, is less than 5. So once again, think of this like distance, right? The distance from x to 3 is less than 5. So if I look at my number line, okay, and this right here is 3, okay, so the distance from some x to 3, okay, either to the left or to the right, okay, has to be less than 5. So I need to be able to represent that I need to go in both directions. So first, x minus 3, okay, is less than 5. But I can also say, okay, that x minus 3 has to be greater than negative 5. So notice I'm accounting for both directions, right? To the left and to the right. Notice I also flip the inequality. So not only do I have to consider negative 5, but then the inequality flips as well. So when I solve this, I'm going to say that x has to be less than 8. All right, so less than 8, so anywhere between 3 and 8. And x has to be greater than negative 2. So what we're saying is that as long as I have a number between negative 2 and 3, their distance will be less than 5, and a number between 8 and 3, their distance will be less than 5. So I could write that in two separate ways, or I can just say that, okay, it has to be greater than negative 2, but it also has to be less than 8. okay, in order for the distance between that number and 3 to be less than 5. All right, so let's look at this last one. Okay, so if I wanted to take this function, okay, f of x is equal to negative 1/2, okay, absolute value of 4x minus 5, okay, plus 3. And the question becomes, okay, what are the values of x, okay, of the domain where it's negative? So if we know that my domain is negative, right, which means that I want this function to be negative, and we show something being negative that it is less than 0. So now I'm going to solve this a lot like I did example 2. It's just a little bit more complicated. So I'm going to basically do what I can to get the absolute value alone, okay? So first things first is I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So I have negative 1/2. Absolute value of 4x minus 5, okay, is less than negative 3. Now, keep in mind, guys, when you're solving inequalities, anytime you multiply or divide by negative, okay, you have to flip your inequality. So what does that mean? Well, notice here, to get rid of this negative 1/2, right? When I divide by negative 1/2, okay, if I divide by negative 1/2, what I'm really doing is I'm multiplying by the reciprocal, right? I get to flip that fraction. So negative 3 times negative 2 is 6. Now, anytime I have to divide or multiply by negative, I'm going to be left with that less than is going to become a greater than. That's just one of those things we need to remember. Now, once I've gotten it down to the absolute value, okay, I get to split it up. So I get to say 4x minus 5 is greater than 6, or, okay, 4x minus 5. Remember, flip the inequality, change the sign. So I have, now I just add 5, get 4x is greater than 11. Okay, which means x is greater than 11/4. Okay, or I add 5. I get 4x is less than 1, negative 1, divided by 4. X is less than negative 1/4. Right, so in this case, when I'm writing my domain, right, basically, as long as x is less than negative 1/4, or x is greater than 11/4. I can also put this in interval form, okay? Or I could put this in and say from negative infinity, okay, to negative 1/4, right? Because that's what less than negative 1/4 means, is it's just basically from infinity up to negative 1/4. Now, greater than 11/4 means from 11/4 to infinity. So at this point, okay, my function values are going to be negative, okay? And I can test that out a little bit, right? So if I want to. So if I pick something greater than 11/4, I don't know, let's say 10, okay? So 10 is greater than 11/4. So if I plug 10 into here, okay, I should get a negative value. So let's try it. 4 times 10 minus absolute value of that, okay, plus 3. Well, negative 1/2. Okay, 4 times 10 is 40, minus 5 is 35. Absolute value of 35. Okay, and you guys can tell that negative half times 35, right, is negative 35/2 plus 3 is still going to give me a negative value, right? So we can kind of test that out and double check that it works. All right, so when you guys get to class, we're going to look at specifically how do we solve, right? Just basic inequalities. How do we solve basic absolute value functions? How do we solve absolute value inequalities? And then how do we sketch their graphs?